Welcome to our Trade to Developer podcast. My name is Suzanne Elsey.
My name is Craig Shields, and we've often been asked to share how we've transitioned from trade to developer. We're now ready to reveal all. So this episode is going to be about understanding people in your team and your clients possibly as well. For me, when we've done a section on this ourselves, it's not something you do every day in the trade, in the building site. You sort of judge them for yourself, but this is a little bit more in depth. And Suzanne, you introduced me to it as well. As I've done some training before on it, and it really gave me a good understanding on if I was employing the right people for the right job, and also what I like doing myself and what I'm natural in my flow is better for. So if you explain a little bit about...
Yeah, sure. So Craig and I both did this separately with business coaches. So I did mine about 7 years ago, and I think, Craig, you did it probably a similar sort of time. It's called Wealth Dynamics. It's a system that's a little bit like a profiling tool, which some people are against, but this particular one, it's actually scarily accurate. I remember when I did it and read the description of me, I was just like, how does it know this? This is quite freaky. But it was spot on. And it just made so much sense. But what it also did for me when I had my team profiled, it allowed me to communicate better. So one of the members of my team, she would need lots more detail. I was just, giving her tasks at a sort of high level, really fast, expecting her to just keep up with me. And she would just go, that thing you said about 5 things ago, I just need a bit more detail before I can start that. And it'd be like, but I'm on a flow here. So I found it really good to understand her profile and my profile. It also allowed me to concentrate on the things I really love doing and really sort of ditch the things I didn't love doing, and focus on those.
Because there's 4 different areas, isn't there?
Yes,
me and you are the same. So yeah,
so it's split into 4 categories. So you have your dynamo, which is your sort of blue sky thinking, visionary side of things. You then have your blazes. These typically are your people. So they love talking to people. They need to be out there mingling with everyone and networking. They're the ones that do all the deals and basically shine on TV. Oprah is a star. So those sorts of people. So they are your sales, typically your sales team. You then have your tempos, which are the people that are the doers in your business. They tend to be more operational and admin. And then you have the steals, and these typically are people that are great with numbers. They love spreadsheets. They're great at really fine-tuning the sort of financial side of things and how things operate. And so people tend to fall into one of these 4. Those 4 are broken down into 9 actual profiles, and you have a primary and secondary profile. Everyone can do all of them, but it's what you actually really love to do and what comes naturally, rather than you forcing yourself to do something because you have to as part of that job. So it's very interesting if you have your team profiled, because quite often you find that the person that's not doing very well in that particular job, or is harder work or very slow at it, is usually because that's not their natural profile for that area, that they shouldn't be in that area. They should be in a different area of the business. So quite often you can actually just tweak their job or move them into a different role, and suddenly you see them fly because they're in their flow, they're doing what they love doing. It's taken us 7 years to make the transition from working with clients through to developing our own portfolio, and we can speed that up for you. If any of this resonates, please do register now, and we can help you transition yourself from trade to developer in just 12 months. And I know you've had a similar experience.
I had staff member working for me, and I was asking them to do talking to clients and that, and it come out that they were 0. Really, that wasn't really their thing to be talking to clients. So if I'd asked them to, one of the guys is stuck outside the job, he can't get in, and they'd say, oh, it's all right, I've emailed them. No, and you need to pick the phone up and talk to them. And I thought it was just the way it is. But when we profiled, it's actually the natural flow that they were in themselves. So, and I think also as well is that it's how you get given information. So a lot of it is like myself and I'm visual. I'd like to see it happening. And I know that there's like on the still side of things is that you give them a spreadsheet of all the detail, they'll analyse it, where a Blaze will just like look for pictures and understand it. So if you're giving stuff out to your team and you're giving them bullet points or loads of detail in, so I've given him all the detail, but he still hasn't done it. So, well, it'd rather you show him a video, or rather you show him just a picture of it, or instructions is something. When you get the IKEA manual out, whoever reads the detail and whoever doesn't, it's a similar thing, isn't it? So, and it was a big part. It was a big part of my business, and also learning about myself as well. That actually being this high in the pie in the sky, you called it, it's actually all right.
Blue sky thinking.
Blue sky thinking is actually all right, and actually knowing that that's what I'm good at, and actually I need some people beside me to be able to work with me to be able to, so I could do what I want to do, which has been a massive thing. So when I took on my PA, I took her through the process of wealth dynamics, and the criteria was quite a big thing for it to fit, because if the job would have been right for her, she would not have liked the role. So it's the whole point of taking someone on and putting them into a role that they don't like, you're not going to have a very happy employee. So you need them to be in their flow, which is doing wealth dynamics. And I know that you can do, we've done the paid version, and you can also do a free version with it as well, to if you've got quite a large team, and you can get a good understanding of what profile they are. I think me and my project manager, we actually had a guess about a few of our guys, and we've actually got them all to do it. And it's really interesting because, that's why he's not listening to us. Yeah, that's why he's very good at that and he's not. And I think going back to what I said in one of the other podcasts about the having guys that can work on site and having guys that can work in people's houses, is similar thing. And getting to know them, because you could just rule them out and say, they're no good, he's no good at all, but actually use them to their benefits. They're actually going to be better doing this. And it mightn't be that they're in a complete wrong role. We need to change their role completely, So
yeah, I think it also helps from the point of view of giving instruction, doesn't it? I mean, you mentioned about watching a video, but what you have to remember is you will explain in the way that you're comfortable with. But what you have to do is explain in the way they're comfortable with, which goes against what feels natural to you. So quite often I'll have people that you send, you've probably had it yourself, you get sent a contract to terms, and most people don't read them. Most people, in fact, just never read them. They just tick them and sign them and send them off again. You could be signing anything. So it's not something I naturally do, but I always make sure I read things like that, because you never know what you're signing. However, if someone likes detail and you're not a details person, they're going to see that and not do anything with it, because it's not how they like to be communicated with. But vice versa, if you give a blazy salesperson a great long booklet to read, they're not going to read it.
If you look after the planning permission, you get a load of conditions and you give it to a Dynamo or Blaze, they're going to be like, yeah, it's fine. And all of a sudden there'll be this little condition in there about something that's could hold you up on your development for a while. So it's like, it is a really big thing for making sure you get the right people.
And it's such a helpful tool, and obviously you've got the free tool that you can use, so you can do it at any point in time. It's definitely something that's been a game changer for me.
Learn about who you are and who your team is, and use them to their best abilities. Thank you all for listening, and thank you all for your support, and please subscribe to the upcoming podcasts.
Just remember the famous quote from Henry Ford: if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got.